We haven't had many extreme temperatures in terms of coldness, and at times even the rhubarb thought it was early spring and started coming out of hibernation when it shouldn't have done, and in fact took quite a while to go into hibernation as well.
These propagated last summer. The side shoots, they grow very long and they tip root like this, and they've taken root and now they're ready to go back in the ground for this coming year, where they'll sprout new shoots, primer canes, and then the following year they will bear fruit.
Well, hello everybody and welcome to my garden tour Saturday. It's a lovely sunny Saturday today, hosted by Grandma Sandy with the lovely co-hosts at Suffolk Susie, Pat's Garden Life and Growing on Vancouver Island. Here's what's happening in our garden in mid-March. Yes, I'm back out and about, folks, recovering well from my back injury, although I'm just still taking things gently. The garden is starting to come to life after a wetter than normal winter. We lost most of our overwintering crops due to waterlogged ground on account of all the rain, so that was our main disaster story. Anyway, it's a beautiful day today and we're out and about in the garden, so let's have a look. Here's my Dan. We recently invested in a nursery for our young plants and seedlings, and it cost £25 from the garden centre, which I think is a really good price. Dan's putting it together today. This is the first day, but it hasn't even been particularly blustery. We've had a lot of high winds as well. Even when it's been drier, you've hardly been able to stand in the wind sometimes. It was like that the other day when I had to go out. So these lettuces did okay over winter. This is cut and come again lettuce. I think it's now getting towards the end of its lifespan. It's seen better days. I will probably pull it up in the next few days. It needs replacing. The soil is a little exhausted by now. We haven't had a huge amount of these cut and come again lettuce leaves. However, we've been able to top up our other salad ingredients now and then, maybe about once a week. These are the very beautiful rose bushes in their pots. A little bit of weeding is necessary, as you can see, but actually this one here in particular has been flowering over winter. We haven't had many extreme temperatures in terms of coldness, and at times even the rhubarb thought it was early spring and started coming out of hibernation when it shouldn't have done, and in fact took quite a while to go into hibernation as well, which is a tad worrying, but we're not going to think about that too much. This is the big old lavender bush doing well. We've got some rather ill-looking sage. I think that will need replacing. The olive tree needs repotting soon. Dan will probably tackle that in the next week or two. But that's done really well. This is our Christmas tree that's still growing. The rosemary's done well. It's getting a little bit leggy now, but we've had some lovely rosemary off this plant over the winter, and there again you can see the time is probably a little past its best at the moment, but if I get out some of these weeds then it might recover somewhat. Remember that the weeds will take some of the nutrients out of the soil, so we want to get rid of them. Now look at these black raspberries. So in a moment Dan's going to tell us about them.
Right, these propagated last summer. The side shoots, they grow very long and they tip root like this, and they've taken root and now they're ready to go back in the ground for this coming year, where they'll sprout new shoots, primer canes, and then the following year they will bear fruit.
Wow.
Properly. So they tip root like blackberries, not like red raspberries.
So what are you removing? Because one or two of them are past the best, aren't they?
Yeah, the smaller ones.
Yeah, okay.
I might put them one on the end, put some more nutrients in the soil.
Yeah. And our neighbours have lost most of the fence now. We have had a lot of high winds, and the neighbours over here, they had to tidy up the tarpaulin stuff across the fence there, their tarpaulin shield, because half of it had come loose in the winds. Yesterday it was flapping around. This is going to be emptied and replenished. We've got things to go in there. These are the cabbages. They were doing really well overwintering, and then when we were in Blackpool at half term a few weeks ago, it rained a lot here and the ground became very wet and the critters got to them. But as you can see, they're starting to recover. We've got the hearts still, but they were beautiful. I'm so annoyed. What we've done with some of them, as you can see, is cover them with plant pots, which will enable them to recover, but we keep having to check them for critters. Now these are terrible. These need doing out. Look at this, it's all weeds and wildflowers.
It's going to be empty.
Okay, what's going in here, Dan?
Probably lettuces.
Yeah, and maybe scallions or something.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
They will be moved over to the troughs near the back of the conservatory.
They count as spring onions, aren't they?
Yeah. These are the strawberry plants. Again, they're not in great condition. Hopefully they'll recover. We don't know, we might have to replace them yet. We'll see how we get on. They need clearing out. This is all rubbish. All needs pulling out. Dead leaves and things. And then there's a pot here that needs to be filled with new compost. And we'll be growing something in there. You see Dan's dug the ground over, but alas, the weeds keep coming back. This area here, that's all going to be weeded because we're going to be doing a nice project along here. We've still not got round to doing it, but we will in the next few weeks, all being well. That's our composter, it's full, lovely compost. And then over here we have, look at all the garlic, stacks of garlic. Look, we did this over the winter. Excellent stuff. Beautiful rose bush, that's grown well. Probably needs a bit of cutting back, that does actually. It's getting a bit unruly. And also the ivy. Nice little bush here. This is the camellia. It's actually doing something at last, that I planted in memory of my mum. It's actually doing something now. It's beautiful. Look at those buds, gorgeous. And this one's done well. You see it's got lovely hips on that one still. That is one of the rose bush varieties that does produce hips. Nice old variety. And then over here another rose bush, and then here you see the rhubarb is just about to come back to life, but soon it'll cover all this area unless we can keep it under control. This is the quince tree. It's doing nothing yet. We have the bird feeder, but we don't seem to get many birds in our garden. Maybe partly because Miss Robin does climb the tree when she comes out, but I think a lot of it's to do with the seagulls, because they are predators. Here are a few overwintering veggies that did survive. It's mainly beet. There's not a lot, but I'll pick it soon and I'll put it in jars in pickle. It doesn't last long in our household anyway. I eat beetroot most days. See, Dan's done all this prepping. What a good man he is. This is the greenhouse. We still need to give it a good scrubbing for the spring. We've opened the window. Gets very humid in here. Look, critter. Ooh, they're everywhere, aren't they? And these are our broccoli. They've overwintered. We've been propagating them over the winter in here. They haven't been too badly affected by mould or anything. There's a little bit of growth, but they'll be ready to plant out soon. But I think they'll be going in the nursery. We've also got some potatoes here, and they're going in the ground. Dan tells me he's going to put the nursery over there because we get lots of sun there, and it's a paved area as well, so it should be fairly stable there. It's a good quality one for the money anyway. I'm very happy with it. Here we've been propagating some things indoors. These are mostly tomato seedlings coming through. These are a week or two old. They're doing really well. They've got a vermiculite mix. In a wee while they'll be ready to transplant, but not just yet. I managed to find some of our favourite beetroot seeds. I couldn't get any from the garden centre, but I went somewhere else. Actually, a charity shop in Blackpool. They had them there, so I got them, and they were 99p. These are some of the varieties in those boxes there. So we've got Gourmandia F1, nice big tomato. The Alicante, which is a very popular salad tomato, and some general tomatoes as well. These were 99p. Just cheap ones from the garden centre. We saved quite a lot of our winter squash seeds from last year's crop, and this is what we have. We are selling some as well at carbon sales. We made up proper little seed packets for them with instructions, and the money from whatever we sell will either go towards our next lot of seeds or anything else that we need, or Cats in Crisis Thanid. We have some onion sets here. Dan's going to do these today. We've also done most of these seeds. We haven't done the pumpkin yet. There to do, but we've done these lovely raindrops. Cherry tomatoes, they grow in containers. Some Moneymaker, they're very well known. They're usually quite easy to grow. Some Solano F1, a lovely plum variety. Really like plum. And Buffalo Sun F1, they're another big tomato. Some Gigantimo. And these lovely red spring onions or scallions are also waiting to do. One of my things to do today is to cold stratify these California Wonder bell peppers. Anyway, that's our garden tour Saturday for today, and I would appreciate any comments. Are you impressed with anything that we're doing? Do you have any tips to overcome some of the problems that we've been having? I'm going to look into doing a bit of hydroponic growing this year. First, I'm going to try propagating in water leftovers from supermarket vegetables, organic ones primarily, to see if I can grow anything from those. And then if that's successful, maybe later in the year I'll have a go at doing some herbs and other salad things over winter in the house with the hydroponic system. I'm also starting to do gardening by the moon phases, which I'm quite interested in having a go at. Don't do anything on a dark moon, remember, so that's 2 to 3 days before the new moon is the dark moon, and that's when you need to have a rest from gardening. But I'll be talking about this method in another video in the near future, because I think it's something that needs exploring a little more. It's certainly probably what our indigenous forefathers did many years ago, hundreds, thousands of years ago. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like, please give it a share, and subscribe if you would like to see more of my content, and ding the notification bell if you want to be notified about any of my content. Thanks ever so much for watching, and we will see you again soon for another video. Until then, bye for now and happy gardening. And here we are. This is the finished nursery. As you can see, we've already got some seedlings hardening off. It was starting to get a bit leggy. There's been doing inside in the utility. So to stop this, we're now hardening them off in this lovely little nursery with the nice tarpaulin, which sits all the way down to the bottom. And here's Miss Robin. Yes, good girl, joining me. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that sweet? She's gorgeous.